And
There
we're
should be
live.
a few people today. There was people asking me about going live, like when we were going to do it again.
That's
I
awesome.
told them
I'm glad.
today. Yeah, it seemed like I'd say at least 5 people were like, they seemed like they legitimately wanted to hear us talk. I'm not sure why, but
So we can
maybe they're just messing with me. I don't know.
talk about humidity and temperature and the weather.
I got a
Yeah,
bunch of old people.
yeah, right. I can feel it in my knees. No, for real. We like get up, and once you walk outside, or we open the door to let the dogs out, and that it's just like this uncomfortable. It's like a mist of humidity hits you in the
It is.
face. Oh, it's
But
hard to
you
breathe.
prefer it over that dry heat? You prefer it over the dry heat of the desert?
I kind of do. And I'll say why. I mean, the dry heat like is a lot more comfortable if I'm honest. But I mean, it makes your skin itch. Like I used to get chapped lips all the time, bloody noses all the time. Like it's harder on my health to be in the dry heat. Here, like I haven't had any
Yeah.
issues. I have these chapsticks that I brought with me when I moved here from 2 years ago or something that I've just don't use anymore. So I don't itch.
I was
My scalp doesn't itch. It feels great.
I was shriveled up like a prune when I was there in the desert. Like within a couple days, I just felt like yeah, like my throat was dry and sore. It's 110 degrees and it's 11 in the morning. I'm like, holy
You
fuck! I
were
just hated. I hated it.
you were
Oh, it was
literally
brutal. At least
dehydrating like a
here,
fruit.
I was like just shriveling up. Here, like the humidity is rough, but if you sit in the shade, you're all right. It's not too
Yeah,
bad. You're out of
yeah.
the sun. You can kind of deal with it. I don't know. I don't mind too much. Better than the winter.
Um, Tourette is here. Super Soda Jerk's
All
here,
right.
and Flying Sage.
Yo, Tarrant. Finally. Flatter Sage. Right on. Hey, guys. Hey, so
Yeah.
I don't know, like, this is, I don't want to make any proclamations, but someone had said to me, like, talking about conduct in our chat room. And, like, I
Talking
don't know
about
how
what?
you feel, but like, how to conduct themselves in our chats, like, what the
Oh,
rules kind of are. You know what I'm getting at? So I don't
okay.
care if people like, and this is, I mean, it's up to you too, but like, I don't care if someone calls someone out on their bad behavior, if they want to challenge their ideas. It's supposed to be free to say anything you really want here. That's kind of the
Exactly.
point. Just try to keep it like
Be
no
adults.
ad homs. Yeah. And like, don't be a total dick. But other than that, like, fuck, go at it. I don't care.
I I would rather not have to sit and babysit the chat room. If as long as everybody can be adults, I don't mind if you guys want to strike up a debate, even if you're arguing about stuff. To me, like an
Yeah. I don't.
argument can be healthy as long as you're not calling names, being unreasonable, or like you're taunting somebody, trolling people. Don't be trolling each other, like starting an argument just to piss somebody
Yeah.
off. I think everybody that we usually have in our chat are pretty cool people, and you guys like have different opinions. That's what makes it colorful. Otherwise, we just be an echo room.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly.
Now, I will say if I see like a comment, like say I'm gonna pick on my brother Super Soda Jerk because I know he wouldn't do this, but if he were to sit there and like call me like a bitch or something, I'm gonna delete the comment. I just
Oh, just hardcore.
just if you're just gonna like write something inappropriate, then I'll delete the comment. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm
No
not.
ad hom. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I know that people are going to come up here and say, "No, I think you're wrong." That's okay. I mean, you
Like,
know,
oh, I don't know. Hey, I don't care about that. I'm just talking about the people in the chat talking to each other. But like, I'll be clear. Everything I say is my opinion. It's not YouTube's opinion. It's not your opinion. It's no one's opinion. And I don't even know if I'm right. Half the time I'm probably wrong. Like,
you
I'm
are.
not going to proclaim that I have the answers. It's just how I see the world. It's just kind of what I think. Everyone's looking through a glass darkly. So I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Like, I don't have the answers. I don't proclaim to have any powers or know anything. I'm just struggling like everyone else trying to get answers.
A lot of times, a lot of the things that I have to say are mostly like questions, you know, and then the other half is just this is what I've experienced, you know.
Yeah.
If I experience something and I got the wrong impression, tell me. I don't care. But I I form a lot of my beliefs on what I've seen and experienced. I mean, and it's not to say that somebody else that had a different experience means that they're wrong. I mean, it just they have a different experience. I don't know. I'm getting philosophical now.
But I also want to say that there is only one. I hate when people say that's my truth. This is my truth. That's the gayest shit I ever heard in my life. There is only the truth.
Yeah,
We all have our own experience and we might all have like different opinions, but truth isn't subjective. There's just the truth.
yeah. Well, I've I thought of it this way. I mean, you and I could go to the same restaurant and order the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
You'll have your opinion on the food and you'll hate it, and I'll love it. And it's not a truth that the food is bad because I said so, or the food is good because you said so. It's a truth that this place serves this food. That's it. Whether we think
Well,
it's good or not, I mean, it might be a different perspective. Babe?
yeah, yeah, that's true. But I guess like that's something that's opinion based.
Right.
Like something that's true is the sun rises in the morning. That's a truth. There's no
Yeah.
opinion based on that. You know what I mean? Like that, just the sun rises. That's it.
Yeah. Super Soda Jerk says he can't be an adult. And Tourette,
It's all good. You know that.
unfortunately, he said he subbed, but he didn't see that this video on his subscriptions. I think what you need to do is turn on the notification. Boy, I sound like those other YouTube channels, like and subscribe. But
Like,
you
subscribe, share, turn on notifications.
make sure your notifications
Yeah.
are on. But there is like
Donate
a
to
little
our
bell.
PayPal.
Yeah, what's that other program where people get money? Not PayPal, but the other one.
The coffee.
Yeah, buy
Buy
me
me
a
a
coffee.
coffee.
There's all kinds of stuff.
You know
Let's
that
see.
guy, Joe?
Yeah, Joe Morgan.
Yeah, I think and like I'm not just saying that like he put this on YouTube, so I'm not like talking about his business, but I think that guy went to rehab.
Did
He
he?
won't be around for a while. Yeah, he put a message up, and then Faith was in the chat as well, and I talked to her a little bit, and yeah, he said he was going to rehab.
Well, we'll be thinking about him because I know Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's a pretty independent thinker. I admire that about him, and he's got stories. That guy's been through some shit, and
Yeah.
you know, you hate to see anybody struggling with anything. So, you know, at the same time, good for Joe. I mean, because don't you have to be willing to go to get there?
I don't know. I think maybe the courts can make you go. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's not going to work unless you're willing.
yeah, that's true. You gotta. Well, good on Joe. Joe, we're thinking about you because
Yeah, I wish him luck, and like I hope he does good. I don't know what his deal was, but
Well, if people pray. If you know, other than that,
I was gonna say. No, yeah, go ahead. No.
Oh, I was gonna say, other than that, we'll just keep an eye out for when he comes back. I was wondering because usually he'll come on like right away and be like, "What's up, everybody?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we'll try to leave flat Earth out of it today. And just so people know, again, I'm not a flat earther. I'm a realm earther. I think there's a difference. But I noticed one of our videos got a climate change badge on it, like a Wikipedia warning. That was awesome. I don't even know what we said though. Like I can't. I have to go back and listen to it. But I hate my own voice, so I don't want to subject myself to it. But there was a comment on our last, I think our last video by Mr. Pig, and we were talking about like you can't wake people up. And then I think his comment was something to the effect of like, well, if you don't speak the truth and say this or that, you're never going to wake them up, like something to that effect. And I think he's kind of missing my point is like, I'm not saying you can't speak the truth. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You can say whatever you want, but nothing you say is going to snap someone out of it. And I don't think any person I know woke up by someone like yelling at them or screaming like the world's going to end or everyone's a lizard or whatever weird shit that people say. Like nothing of that sort. And I don't think everyone's a lizard. I'm just saying.
I know.
Like none of that shit wakes people up. You know, it's just you have to come to that on your own. It's like a process that we all go through. And if someone else has gone through it a different way, if someone said something that snapped them out of it or yelled at them to wake them up, please tell me, and I'll change my tune. But that's all I was saying. And then I'm just saying, like those people who aren't awake, who are family members or whatever they are, instead of losing friendships or family ties, just talk to them about fishing or talk to them about a movie or whatever else. Like you don't have to like just talk about all this bullshit that's going on in the world. Just enjoy them because there's gonna be a time when they're gone and you're gonna be like, oh fuck, I really shouldn't have argued about the lizard people and I should have just enjoyed my time with them. I guess that's kind of the point I'm making.
Right.
I hope people know what I'm saying there.
Well, let me put it this way. I mean, we were all teenagers once. And I remember my dad counseling me on, you know, when you blow your money on stuff that you're not even going to have in 10 years, think about that before you buy it. And I remember hearing it like in one ear, out the other. You know that phrase? And
yeah,
I remember rolling my eyes at the things that he had said. I remember thinking like, he just doesn't get it. You know, like, because we're teenagers. We know everything, right? But as I matured later in life, I remember like the things that humiliated me and thinking, my dad tried to warn me about this. I remember making failures and hearing my dad's voice about how he tried to warn me about this. And then it all kind of comes together. And then when I was ready to humble myself to a point where, okay, I made a mistake. My dad was trying to save me from that mistake, but I still learned. You know, it's kind of like that. It's like sometimes you can be that voice that just starts the seed. And then later, when that person's ready to actually listen to what you had said or understand it, then that's when it makes a difference. I think Big Pig means well. He's trying to help people, you know, and there's lots of people that help in different ways. Just got to understand that other people out there are going to, you know, either take it differently or not well at all, or some will take it very well. For some people, it'll hit them like a like a ball and it'll just turn on the light like, oh my God, he's right. Others will just fight it until later they make their own conclusion, or they realize the truth, or, when they're ready, it will click. Does that make sense?
I like what you said. No, it does. I like what you said about planting seeds, because
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And there's nothing wrong with spreading the little seeds and planting them as you go and saying little things. And I think that's the better way to wake someone up, is plant
the seed. Yeah. Or be a good example. Even sometimes you don't have to say anything at all. Sometimes it's just people are watching you. And if you're on YouTube and you're out putting yourself out there, people are going to watch you. So, yeah, they'll think about you at times, and you never know if it's a bad time or a good time, but they may remember one little thing that you said that you didn't even realize was significant, but they'll remember. Are you talking? Can you hear me, or did your sound go out? You may have to move your moose so you get better reception, but it sounds like I lost Clutch for a second. We'll wait for him to come back, but in the meantime, Arwen's here. I said hello, Arwen. Fiber Oats, it's good to see you. Fiber, I had no idea you're 29 days sober. Boy, that's incredible. That's awesome. And I've been looking at the Instagram pictures that you put out with your pictures. Oh my God, they're beautiful. I even showed a coworker, and she was asking if the paintbrush that you use is like a wide brush because it looks like it's fingers. She thought at first it was finger painting. I don't know, maybe it is. But the strokes of your designs have those, it looks like 4 or 5 fingers swiveling on the art. So I don't know. The stuff looks good though. My coworker really loves it. Still not see your show in my subs. Tourette, why? Hey, Flat Earth Sage. Everybody saying hi. Okay, so everybody's caught up. But yeah, Clutch and I were talking this week about, we started talking about the weather and we forgot to hit the go live button. So we were talking about how hot it's been getting. And Clutch lives in an area where it's naturally very moist and rainy and hot. So it's very humid, but it's very good for his garden. For myself, I started off in Nevada and we moved here last year. And this is our second summer here. And I'll tell you what, the differences between the heat and the dryness, there's Clutch, is completely different. I mean, I love the humidity.
Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, I can hear you now, dude. You stopped talking for a bit. I was just catching everybody up that what we were talking about before we went live. Arwen said,
I lost you, and then I was like, I lost you, and then I lost total internet here.
Oh.
And now it just popped.
Because I was joking about moving your moose to where you get better reception.
Hey guys, Will FE, Fiber, Arwen, yo guys. Yeah, but I don't know. Did you hear what I was saying? I agreed with you about.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just agreeing with you about your seed and all that. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. We can move on.
Agree with me. I like that.
You know, something I've been thinking a lot about lately is, and I've sent you some videos about it, and I've been reading a lot about it. And I know not everyone likes to read, but I don't understand. Like, I can't just watch videos on something and then that's someone else's interpretation of the work. I need to read it myself so I can kind of understand it myself. So, but I did send you those Static in the Attic videos. And I'm really I'm struggling with the Old Testament and the Old Testament God. There was a time where I really I was like, no, it is that the way the Gnostics say and he's kind of like the demiurge. And then I left that idea, and now I'm kind of like circling around back to that. And like when I think of people who say that Jesus and God are the same person, then would Jesus say things like, go to this place and kill everybody and rape the women and eat the babies? Because the God of the Old Testament says to do that. Literally, eat babies, kill people, rape women. I cannot put Jesus saying those things. He would not say those things. Not how I understand him. Now, I don't think Jesus and God are the same people. I think that Jesus is of God. But at the same time, he does say, you guys are of the synagogue of Satan. He's calling out those people. He's saying, the God that you're worshiping isn't the same God who's my father. He says that straight out to them. So I think that the God of the Old Testament is not, I don't think that's Jesus's father. And there's like tons of biblical verses that back it up. And so I'm really struggling with that whole, I don't know how to interpret it. I don't know how to understand it. I don't know where to go with it.
You're not the only one.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tourette says that's crazy, Clutch. I was just thinking about Static in the Attic. And I also, I should have found the link to share it. I was also talking about this very same thing with my son. I don't know if you guys, anybody else really knows, my son's like only 20 and he's living in Utah. And yes, he's not in Salt Lake City, but it is pretty much like Mormon capital. So he talks to me about a lot of these people there that are constantly like, he's got 6 Bibles now that has been given to him since he's moved there. That's not including the Bible that I gave him when he left. So he's got a lot of that different denomination coming at him. But we were talking about that, and he even found a link. Have you seen this, Clutch? It's like you put in one phrase that is in the Bible, and it will show you all the phrases that are related to it in different parts of the Bible, but it will also show you phrases that are inconsistent with that phrase. So my point is, I visually saw like how many inconsistencies and contradictions there are in the Bible. And really my impression is like, you've got a book that's been rewritten again, translated and rewritten how many times? And so many things. Each time somebody was trying to improve on it, they were trying to improve to suit their need or suit the society at the time or impress the king. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't feel are right in the word. I mean, it hurts to say that because I've always grown to love the word of God and, rely on the Bible as my comfort. It was God's way of talking to me, but I'm not saying it's not anymore. I'm just saying it's just difficult to wrap your head around what's going on. Why are these things, like you said, why would God want their people, his children of God to do, go into this land and eradicate that entire race? Like, remember in Static in the Attic, he was talking about these giants that were living in the land.
That's one thing. That's one thing that I've thought about too, is like, because it's that serpent seed theory. So possibly he's telling them, hey, you got to get rid of these people who are of that, like ilk, those the giants or the Nephilim or whatever. And I kind of justified it to myself like that. But the more I think about it, not only that is wrong, but look at his miracles that he performs with Moses. Yeah. He creates a plague of frogs, flies. Yeah. He turns a stick into a snake. He kills the firstborn.
Children. Yeah.
Right. All his miracles are horrible. And like that's just not the God of love, and that's not the way Jesus would have taught people in the New Testament. He wouldn't be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to kill your son. That's really going to get you to come to me." It makes no sense. There's
Yeah, that's
no
cringy.
I'm really thinking that it is like a demiurge sort of thing. He might be Yabadeoth, and it's like it is like the devil, and he's just kind of he's tricked everybody. And we're kind of like we're just thinking this physical realm is it. And that's I don't know. Like I'm really yeah, I don't know. It's a trip. I don't have any
It's
answers, but I
there's a
don't
lot of
think
conflict. Yeah. I
yeah, I just don't
Flatter
think that. And Yahweh, if you look back into the history of Yahweh, he's a storm god. That he's a desert storm god who gets brought up to the level of God, and then he changes his name to whatever it is, like I am that I am, or whatever it is,
yeah.
the unpronounceable word. But there's a history of that. He was a storm god. He was a desert storm god before any of that. And that's not just me saying that. That there's archaeological evidence for that. If you want to trust, you got to trust some science, I guess, some mainstream sources. They're not all bullshit.
Well, there's research, and there's always research done by good people and research done by people who are paid to find an answer in a specific way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Say again, sorry?
I said you've got to remember there's research. There's the kind of research where people are out there to find the truth. And then there's also the kind of research that the staff is being paid to find a certain answer that a certain institution wants to have found. Does it make sense?
I seen a funny meme. That funny meme where it's like, I think it's 9 out of 10 scientists. How is it? 9 out of 10 scientists believe what whoever is paying them says, something to that effect.
Yes. Yes. That's big in the pharmaceutical companies too. But we're going out in the left field. I really like something that Arwen just said. Arwen, I lost your comment that I liked, Arwen. He said Jesus's words are highlighted for a reason. And the reason that strikes me is because why isn't all of the words of God in the First Testament highlighted? Like if it was, do you see what I'm saying? Like I kind of feel that way too. It's like the things that Jesus, I don't know if you meant to say it this way, Arwen, by the way, but I feel like Jesus was trying to set the example, like you said, and that's kind of like where I've been leaning to more is like he was setting the example that we should be, and everything else is hard to really find credibility in. God said this, and the 10 Commandments, I get it, but the 10 Commandments really are parallel to a lot of teachings in a lot of other religions too. So where did that come from? Am I losing you there?
I get what you're saying. I see something that this Will F.E. says, and he says, Flat Earth Sage, God is greatest, but what makes you say Yahweh is jealous? He says it. God says, I am a jealous God. That's God's words in the Old Testament. So, I mean, I just wanted to highlight that.
I think because he's questioning, or not questioning. I don't want to put words into other people's mouth. I'm just saying that was a response to Flat Earth Sage's comment. They say God is perfect. So how is Yahweh God if he's jealous? So.
But then Will F.E. says, Flat Earth Sage, yes, God is greatest. Yeah. But what makes you say Yahweh is jealous? Yahweh says it. He says, you shall have no other gods ahead of me. I am a jealous God.
Right. Oh,
so
Arwen said I got.
Not only is he saying there's other gods, He's saying there's other gods, but he's also saying he's jealous, which jealousy is really not a very I don't know what the word I'm looking for. That's not a very good trait that you want in someone, right?
It doesn't reflect love. It
No.
really doesn't reflect love. I mean, when you have a jealous boyfriend, it doesn't
Right.
feel loving. You know what I mean?
And aren't you supposed to, if you love something, set it free?
Yeah.
And then when it comes back to you, you know that it's meant to be. What, I don't mean to rhyme. But
oh,
yeah,
Clutch
like,
is such a poet. He's
but yeah,
married,
like
by the way. I'm so clever. Okay.
God is not the character
God of the Bible.
God is not the character God of the Bible. I think she's saying what we're saying.
Yeah. The commandments may be
Yeah.
of all the gods, including Jesus' father. Wow. The gods didn't like to share followers. Well, yeah, that makes sense. What I always thought was interesting was at a point in time when I was adamant that there was only, God, the one God, and that all others were just false idols. I always wondered at the phrase, like, he is a jealous God. You shall not worship false idols and, idols. It's like, if he was a jealous God, why would he have any reason to be jealous if there were not other gods out there? Do you understand my question?
Well, and the Bible does say that there is other gods. Like Elohim is God. El is God. Oh, when you add the Elohim, that's pluralizing gods. And he also talks about the heavenly council and how that he brings that heavenly council with them. So there are others. And I think that the ones that fell, those watchers who mate with the earth women and create the Nephilim, I think those are the other gods. I think, there was a god of medicine, a god of war, a god of agriculture, a god of this, a god of that. Those are the other gods. They're just not the true God. And I think the head one of those guys is, well, lack of a better term, Satan. And he's the God of the Old Testament. I'm really starting to think that's his biggest trick. And I maybe I'll go to hell for saying this, and I'm really sorry. And like Static says, I feel the same way. I don't mean to lead anybody astray. Don't fucking listen to me. Do your own research. Pray. But I'm having a hard time reconciling the God of the Old Testament and Jesus. And I don't think Jesus, I'm pretty sure Jesus is telling those people when he yells at them that you are of your father, the synagogue of Satan, that he's referring to the Old Testament, and that is not his God. That's not his father. And that's just how I feel. Like, I mean, I guess I'll find out when I die, but whatevs.
No, I think that you don't have to worry about that. There is no hell.
Why would God tell people to eat babies? Like, what the shit? And the whole circumcision thing too. That's messed up. I think that it's messed up.
Well, I shared the screen and I just Googled other gods in the Bible, right? And the first thing that pops up
Baal, Moloch.
Yeah, pagan deities in biblical times. There's Asherah, Moloch. I might be pronouncing these wrong. Chemosh was the Moabite god of war. The golden calf, queen of heaven. There's Baal, Balls, Dagon, Ashtoreth. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I see.
Very interesting to kind of the Bible's many gods. And then even openbible.com has other gods of the Bible. Oh, don't get Big Pig started. Here's the thing about Paul's understanding of God. I don't mean to laugh. I love it. But Big
I,
Pig, like, he
I'm
is
still
very
no.
passionate when it comes to that whole Paul's concept. And I'm like, I don't know
I'm
enough
agreeing
about
with
it.
Big Pig there. I don't think Paul. He teaches against Jesus's teachings. That's obvious. There's tens and tens and tens and tens of examples of it.
Yeah.
The other apostles rebuke him many times over.
Yeah, it kind of makes you
I'm no
wonder, like,
Paulian.
why are his writings in the Bible then? It's,
Well, who
yeah.
put them there? Ask yourself that. Who canonized the modern Bible? It was the Universal Church. But I want to respond to something that this normie girl, she says hi, I say hi back, but she says there is no hell. And I don't know about that. Like okay, so like let's
She said
I,
Yahweh is obsessed with foreskins. I
he
don't know
is
why.
obsessed with foreskin.
I'm not
And there's
laughing
a
at you.
verse in there where there's a verse where he's going to kill Moses. God is plotting to kill Moses, and then Moses's wife rubs a foreskin on his foot and saves him from God killing him.
Wait, what? Okay,
I
I
know.
gotta look this up. Whose wife was it?
Look it up. Moses's wife saves Moses from God killing him by rubbing a foreskin on his foot.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I think I understand why the people in church never read the Old Testament and why it's always the same Jesus, John, and couple verses, because they don't want to delve into this shit. It's heavy.
Yeah.
But about that no hell, while you're looking that up, I just want to say, and like I'm just thinking out loud. I understand that a loving God wouldn't want to punish us for eternity, but at the same time, when there's someone who's horrible, let's say a serial killer who rapes and kills children and does all kinds of disgusting things like that, should there not be a place for that piece of shit to suffer for all eternity? Why would he be in paradise with everybody else? If you could make that, if you could explain that to me and make me understand, then I'll agree with you that there's no hell. Otherwise, I can't dig that.
Okay, I found it. In Exodus 4, verse 25, but Moses' wife Zipporah took a flint knife and circumcised her son. She touched his feet with the foreskin and said, "Now you are a bridegroom of blood to me." And you can read the full chapter, but what I was
But read
asking,
before
I
that.
found it. Let me find the full chapter. Okay.
Yeah, it says that God's plotting to kill Moses.
I think it was verse 25. Yep. Okay.
I think you have it right there.
So Moses, back home from Jethro, let me get rid of the ads here. Please let me return to my relatives in Egypt. I don't even know if they are still alive. Go in peace, Jethro replied. Before Moses left Midian, the Lord said to him, "Return to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you have died." So Moses took his wife and sons, and the Lord told Moses, "When you arrive back in Egypt, go to Pharaoh, perform all the miracles I have empowered you."
Right there. It's right there. Go to 24. Go to 24.
On the way to
On his way to Egypt,
a
a
place
place.
where Moses and his family had stopped for the night, the Lord confronted him and was about to kill him. Why? But Moses' wife
Why?
took the flint knife and then all this stuff. "Now you are a bridegroom of blood to me." When she said a bridegroom of blood, she was referring to the circumcision. After that, the Lord left him alone. Wow. I'm with Normie Girl. That's a little bit of an obsession with foreskins. I mean, why?
Yeah. And why did he make them? He made men like that. So now he wants us to mutilate ourselves as a way to show that we're with him? Like as a mark? We're marking ourselves? Why did he make it? Like, it makes no sense to me. And it's and it's like we're traumatizing ourselves, our children, right at birth. Like we're initiating them right into pain, right at the start of life. Like, hey, here, welcome to the world. Now I'm going to chop your dick off. It makes it.
To be fair, I mean, nowadays, I mean, don't they not feel it? Well, I guess I wouldn't know.
How do we know? You know what they said? They said that they used to no, listen to this. They used to operate on babies without any anesthesia because they said babies didn't feel it. Well, they were wrong. Babies did feel it.
Right.
That's true.
Fiber Oats made a good point that I kind of feel like I'm aligned with, is he feels like hell exists right here and right now, and it may even be subjective. I kind of feel like this world is not, it doesn't feel right to me. This is not our world.
Okay. But how is that person punished then? Okay, so what happens to that? Okay, let's just go with that idea. Okay, but now this horrible serial killer who does horrible things to children and women and men, whatever, everybody, dogs, cats, he fucks everybody over, rapes, kills everybody. What happens to his soul after? He goes to paradise? He's hanging with us? I got to hang out with Ted Bundy? Does that make sense?
Wait, what do you mean? Like if he accepts, if he gets to go to heaven and paradise?
No. He doesn't accept anything. I'm just saying. Okay, so what happens to our souls? We die, we go to paradise. Everybody's in paradise. But there's pieces of shit in the world who do horrible things. What happens to their souls?
Oh,
do they go to paradise too?
If there is no hell, what happens to their soul?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, I'm sorry. I was like, what is he talking about? Okay. I see what you're saying now. Greek mythology has a lot of really weird things in it. I agree with that. I remember reading a lot of Greek mythology in school, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But that non-believer they killed,
Lake of Fire.
Go to hell, that makes no sense. Right, Normie girl. That's what Clutch is saying. If that non-believer they killed will go to hell, it makes no sense. Greek legends.
And Fiber saying Lake of Fire.
Okay, removal of foreskins would basically imply that God's creation of man was imperfect, which I obviously don't agree with. He could have made it that way in the first place. I hope I think are you referring to a man's ding ding? Like, that's the way it would be made if it wasn't supposed to have, we're talking about foreskins now. Foreskin theory talk tonight. Hell would be the absolute perfect word for this mental, physical, spiritual, subjective experience. It's dark in here for me, and it seems dark in general. Even I could go with this theory that hell isn't eternal. That you're subjected to some form of punishment or cleansing for a period of time until you learned a lesson or something of that nature, and then you were cleansed and brought back into the fold. Or maybe your soul is just totally deleted from existence, and that's it. You either go to heaven or paradise, or you're deleted. Because you had your chance.
Or maybe there is it's like a prison sentence and it's not eternal. But I would have to think that there's some sort of retribution, because there's too much evil in this world that people get away with, and They have to be punished in the next life. I can't. I accept no other way, and that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I just don't understand how I would be chilling in heaven with Ted Bundy and Hitler and Mussolini and fucking anybody else who was a piece of shit in the world. I don't know if they were all pieces of shit, but I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then beside me is like my grandma and like Jesus, and we're all at the dinner table. Like, what the fuck? That is the whack, man. I can't buy that.
I don't mean to laugh, but it is funny. I mean, that image.
No, I'm saying it to be funny, but you get my point at the same
Yes,
time.
I do.
Like,
I do.
yeah.
You guys ever see the girl with Tourette's that was on Dr. Phil? You're done. Fiber Oat said. I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't seen that.
Now I feel the need to look it up. Here we go.
Jahina.
Wait, hold on.
But okay, wait. Flat Earth Sage. The punishment of sin is death. So I'm not sure why God would send people to a burning abyss forever. But we all are going to die. Every single one of us. So are you saying then that our punishment is just the physical death? Just having to live this life and face death? And then that's it? You get to go to paradise? Because I could do a million shitty things and then just be like, oh, okay, now you're going to paradise. You face death. I can't buy that either. There has to be some sort of reckoning, accounting. There has to be some sort of vengeance, in my opinion.
Ooh. Sorry. I think, are you there, Dan? Is this the one? Are you looking at the screen?
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know if that's it. I never seen it.
All right, somebody tell me if this is the one, because it looks like.
So what's the spiritual death then, Flat Earth Stage? So are you saying then that there's the physical death, and then if you're a piece of shit, you also are deleted eternally from existence? That's the spiritual death?
Their daughter has Tourette's. I want to find.
I don't know if you can play. You know what? You can play it if you make commentary on it. You won't get a copyright strike, but you have to make commentary on it. Then it's fair use. Talk about it. Talk about what's happening on the screen.
Oh,
talk about what any kind of.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you can play it.
What I was trying to do is try to find the part specifically where she says you're done, because that's what he was talking about. I mean, it's not something that we have to do. I just don't know what he's referring to, so that's why. So we'll do a commentary on it, and we can turn the sound on, from what I understand. Is that right?
What's that? Yeah, you can play it if you make commentary. It's fair use then.
Okay.
Oh, she's going nuts there.
So she's made.
But I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it? That's okay.
No, I don't know if anyone else can.
Herself and why.
Oh my God.
Here's the interesting thing.
Tourette's is a whack.
Yeah. And she makes herself, she's made herself popular by putting herself on TikTok using her Tourette's, which I guess is a positive outlet, but she got a job.
I've seen a different girl on. I've seen a different girl on YouTube who has Tourette's, and she does the same thing. She just I think she might play games or something, and then just says wacky Tourette shit like talk, fuck, whore, and then just keeps playing and then talks normal and then all of a sudden just goes crazy again.
Wow. Did not know that.
It's a weird disease.
All right. I'm going to stop it
And
there.
I think there's different types of Tourette's. Like some where you say things, some where you hit yourself, some where it's just you have to do something. It's almost like obsessive compulsion.
And it's involuntary, right?
As far as I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had any interaction with anybody that that had Tourette's, but that's interesting. The Tourette's seems like a form of that's one way, Fiber. I don't know if she seemed like she was miserable with it. She just, I think, sounded like she was trying to cope with it.
Will embraces his baldness. Party Fish. Party Fish says there's nothing wrong with bald. Bald is beautiful.
Yeah.
The good intentions. Good show. You really messed up. Thank you, Super Soda.
Super
you didn't sidetrack us, Fiber. This is just what we do. We just talk about.
Yeah,
it's like hanging out. We're just all hanging out. I wish we had a campfire and we just chill, you know? That's all it is. Everyone can say whatever they want. The Bible teaches it's the inherent word of God, but it is not so. Why believe any of it? Christianity is bullshit. LOL. It's hilarious when you guys try to hide it. Anyway, catch the rest later. Have a good one.
Edith's dentist.
All right.
I've never seen you before. Welcome.
I've seen that name before. I think
Normie girl's gonna. It sounds like you gotta go, sis. So we'll see you later. But
and I don't think Christianity is bullshit.
And I cut his hair that way because it's just easy. Sorry, sometimes convenience outweighs fashion. I'm serious. I mean, like you get to a certain age, okay, my hair this is my natural silver gray hair. And everybody always asks like why I don't dye it, because I'm too lazy to. I mean, I'm just at a certain age, you just you forget it.
I can't wait till you get to the age where you dye it purple. You notice that all old ladies dye their hair purple? Why? Yes. I want to know why.
Why?
I want to know why old ladies do that. What the fuck? I see and it's not like a punk rock thing. I think they can't tell the color or something. It's weird, man. It's weird.
I see that everywhere out here, like in the place where we moved to, in the Appalachia area. I thought it was a southern thing. Like these women all have, even the real estate agent that was showing us houses in the first place we were looking at, she had bright purple hair. I was completely like, what is happening here? It was strange. And then she brings her dog to the house showing, and the dog has purple hair. It was, I don't get it. I don't get why. Why is a good question.
I don't know why old ladies do that. And now if I see like a younger girl, let's say 20s, 30s, who has purple hair, I run the opposite way. When I was young, if you had blue or purple hair, I'd think that you were like a punk rocker and anti-establishment.
Yeah.
And you were probably cool. But now I see that and I think, yeah, she's woke, and I don't want anything to do with her. Just run away. Run away.
Now it's just because it's Tuesday. We're going to go purple, I guess that's it.
There was some purple-haired lady. There was one purple-haired lady at we have these stores called M&M Meats. They're kind of it's just a weird, a lot of prepackaged stuff.
Cool.
It's it's a weird little store. But anyway, it was this purple, and she said something to the effect of "sir" to me, and I said, "Did you assume my gender?" And she said, what? And I just laughed and I said, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Because I didn't want to get into a big thing with her. but like, I was just like, because she seemed like the type who would be like all like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get them
I like throwing that kind of stuff back at them.
I don't know if you remember a character from the 80s or was it the 70s, a sitcom named Red Fox. Do you remember that old man? Old black man?
Yeah. Yeah, he was on Sanford and Son, wasn't he?
Yes. Thank you. There was one clip I remember seeing this as a kid, and I'll never forget it because it made my dad laugh so hard. He like was on the floor, and he was like in the city, of course, and he walks up and he sees this punk rock looking dude, and his hair's all spiked up. It was back in like the 80s when having the spiked hair was like the thing to do. And he's looking at this young dude with the spiked hair, and he's looking, and then he just asks him, he goes, you know, you've been struck by lightning? I don't know why. I lost our shit. We just laughed so hard. And it's the way this old black guy asked it is just like so matter of fact. It's like, are you aware?
Look at Flat Earth Sage's comment.
Yes, exactly. Here in Phoenix,
makes them look like drag queens
with purple or pink hair. I guess they think it makes them look younger, but to me, it makes them look like drag queens a lot of the time. You know what though? I mean, the world is so freaking crazy right now. You can't even like look at somebody, and you really have to do a double take. Like, is that a man? You know, like. You can't. I don't know. I just.
It looked like. You remember that?
You look like a man.
Mad TV character. Yes. Yeah, Miss Swan. You're looking like a man.
Everything. That's my mom. That is my mother. Everything from the smart ass to I don't care kind of attitude she has. That's. Yes, I tell you.
Oh, that's awesome.
He look like a man, and you know. Oh God. Miss Swan.
Good time.
Oh, well, I thought I was thinking of some things, but I can't like refer to certain things because I don't want to give away like where I work and stuff like that. So I'm sorry. I'll have to.
Oh yeah.
That idea. Damn it. But yeah.
That one that or like kind of like the one from last time that you sent me. I was like, what the? Like, yes. It was so weird. Like, how did they not know?
Okay, so I'll generalize it. I mean, when you call certain places, we have these things that in our lives that are just very blatantly obvious. Like, you know, I'll use this example. The phone number to 911. Okay, if you're having an emergency, do you know who to call? Right? And we had a person.
The Simpsons.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the Simpsons do that gag too. Homer yells something like, "Quick, give me the number to 911."
Yeah. Well, this person, and I'm not trying to be rude on the phone when I'm at work, but this person was trying to tell me a location. And my question to them is, where do our drivers need to go? So when somebody asks you for an address of where they need to drive to, this person gave me a mailing address. And I was like confused because I was like, wait a minute, like, what am I going to do with this address? And they're like, well, then they backtracked and they said the physical address is this. And I straight up ended up saying, because I kind of had it up to here, I was like, well, the physical address makes sense because, I mean, if our guy goes to the mailbox, we're not going to find you in the mailbox, right? And that person was they were kind of pissed, but at the same time, it's like, what did you think I was asking you for an address for? I mean, we're not, I don't know. I was trying to be nice, and I laughed like, "Hey, we're having fun here, right?" But no, I guess not.
Some people's kids. Some people's kids. I don't know, man. There's like people are just stupid. I think
Yes,
people are just stupid. I don't know what it is. Like if it's too much TV, too much cell phone, too much
yeah.
fucking lead paint. I don't know what it is, but like, and it's like they're getting dumber and dumber every year. Like
Well, you're
I'm
right.
being serious. Like just the average person is stupid.
I worry that and I'm a little serious. I do worry about humanity quite a bit because I kind of see a laziness culture coming on. It's not so much that they don't know how to find it or could not find it. They don't want to find, like, people, excuse me, people don't want to go through the work of figuring it out. Like, they don't want
Yeah, and then
to,
they say,
yeah,
and
they
they
don't,
say you're a conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, I'm a conspiracy theorist because you didn't do your homework.
yeah.
Like,
They
what
don't
the
even
fuck?
they don't even want to figure out their lives. Like, if you get
No.
into a situation with somebody and let's use custody battles for an example. I mean, I've seen people that, like, my ex-wife was supposed to drop our daughter off or something, and we were supposed to meet at the church, but she ran out of gas. It's like, well, then do you think maybe you could drive a little further and meet her to where she's at so you can, like, people don't even want to put in the effort to figure, like, problem solve. You know what I mean?
Have you seen that movie? I do. Have you seen Idiocracy?
Oh my God, I've seen it so many. It is so true.
It,
It is
it
so
it's like a.
true. There's a lecture.
I know.
I'm not kidding.
And the
Like,
president, and like that guy becomes like the guy that goes into the future. He's like tests the highest on their IQ tests ever.
yeah,
He's just some like regular.
I thought it was strange when I first saw the movie about why they established how unbelievably average this guy was. Like, they kept, like, repeating about how average he's so average, and I'm like, where is this going? And then when he gets to the future, then it kind of like, okay, it makes sense now. But yeah, the who's the president? Was that Terry? Oh, it's
Terry
that.
Crews,
Yes,
but I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name in the show. He's like a wrestler or something like that.
yeah, and he becomes president or something. Flat Earth saves
Just like The
strength.
Rock is going to become president for you guys.
Don't get me started.
He's
Dude.
going to run.
I saw so many funny memes about our president. I'm just like, it's the same old stuff. This guy.
That dude, like, I think there's like a little alien like living inside of him or something. Like he cannot be a real person. Like it's just
Like
so
on Men
fucking
in
weird.
Black, you open up the ear,
Yeah.
and the head pops open, and there's a little alien, and he's like,
It's funny. It's funny you mention the ears because look at pictures of Joe Biden when he's like 10 years ago, and you'll see that his ears hang like he has lobes. And now look at the pictures of him now; they're attached to the side of his head. His lobes don't hang. It's just a weird thing I noticed. I don't understand. Like, is it a fucking mask or something? Is he
That's
like?
funny. I don't know if you saw his first debate with Trump. Like, his eyes, some didn't look right. Like, they looked so
They're all black.
dilated. Like, they were super.
Yeah. They fucking drugged him up. Like they were so dilated.
Yeah, I thought he was super amped up.
They were black.
Yeah. Like
Fuck
they were
yeah.
trying to keep him
Fuck
awake
yeah.
through the whole thing. Right?
Yeah. I think they
Okay.
like give him some like meth or something just to like get him going, like, you know, like
I know, and
fucking inject
he
him.
was all over the place. I mean, I'm no expert on people who do drugs, but I at least understand when somebody's right in the head and someone right. Let's see, Arwen. Let's see. Flat Earth Sage had said this new generation is screwed. I hate to admit it. Yeah, I worry about my son and the generation he's in. The main challenge for the newer generation is learning how to unscrew themselves. That's so spot on, Arwen. Damn, I was just thinking about Idiocracy. Yep. I truly am a believer in preemptive programming. I can't even talk. I really think Idiocracy is a foretelling of what we're in for. Skullets all the way, Fiber Roads. Arwen did point out that Joe has doubles. Now that I have seen a lot of YouTube videos where they talk about like the clones and the doubles and replacements. Have you seen those?
This just clicked in my head. There was we have to link this one. I'll give it to you. There is I think it's a TED Talk, and it's a lady from the CIA talking about mask technology and how their masks are so realistic now that they like you cannot tell that someone's wearing a mask, and
What?
she shows it. Yeah, dude, and she shows the mask, and then she does like it might have been from that Patrick Betts guy. It might have been on his show, and then it might have been him. I'll get it. I'll get it to you. I'll find it, and
I've never heard
I'll
of
send it to you, and we'll link it up.
Okay. I've never heard of that one.
It was so creepy.
Zep Tepi.
But I've heard that Zep Tepi. Are
that
they
somebody you know?
like lesbian?
What? Do you know this person?
Kind of. Kind of. I don't really know them, but I've seen them around.
Okay. Zep Tepi said, and then Charlie Welch says, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Arwen, what next? Invisible Bigfoot." Okay, so Charlie's not. Are you not big on conspiracy stuff, Charlie?
I do think that it's probably true that a lot of like prominent people probably do have doubles. That would make sense to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they would probably. Why wouldn't they? Like, just maybe you don't want to get assassinated or some shit. I could see it like that, but I don't think it's like an actual clone of them or something.
And I think, I mean, with the technology and the kind of stuff we have today, why is it so far-fetched that there are people that can put on a disguise and look just like somebody? Flat Earth Sage says, I believe it. He just does not act like a normal human. Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of inconsistencies I see. That's half the reason why I stopped watching so many of these programs where they put on the debates and, talk shows and stuff like that. We got a somebody in the chat. Are you saying you know what visible Bigfoot? Know a bit visible Bigfoot, Charlie? Nice. A sustainable mating population would be evident. Charlie. Oh, Charlie.
God. I think things are going to take a turn now.
Oh yeah, try to get along, guys. I mean, Charlie, it's okay to come and poke fun, but don't get rude. That's all we ask. Other than that, I've only ever seen like videos where they hear weird noises in the woods. Now, where I live now, they really seriously like believe in Bigfoot. You can't even joke with them about it. Like it's out there. He's for real. And like the Flatwoods Monster. You ever heard of that?
Did I tell you? No, but did I tell you I was at the hospital? Like, there's a small little hospital near where I am, like, because I'm not near any big cities. but there's like a little town and a small hospital, but it's by an Indian reserve, right? So the hospital is mostly like, and then they have these like, it's kind of like not apartments, but kind of like a townhouse complex right beside the hospital for nurses and doctors that like kind of just drive out here, and they kind of live in the city, but they live out here. But on the side of one of them,
for the residents.
like, do you know, like, yeah, there's like, you know how they'll paint the bear and the eagle and like all these like animal symbols? That's very common for Native people, right? And like, so the bear will be like courage, or the eagle is like, I can't remember all of the what each animal represents. But there was a Bigfoot painted on, and he was honesty. And I was like, what? I'll take a picture of it one day. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what a weird, they believe in it too. Like, they're very like, yeah, you don't joke around. Like, he's a real thing.
It's a thing. The Mothman is another thing that they talk about a lot out here.
Well, yeah, they had that bridge collapse with Mothman by, I think it was Bayou.
Right.
Wasn't it in Charles? I don't, whatever. I don't want to say it.
No, you could say it was like out in West Virginia, but I mean, the Appalachia area.
Charleston, like, I thought it was.
Yeah, well.
I thought it was Charleston.
Point Pleasant is where I hear a lot of the Mothman stuff. We'll have to look that up. But the Appalachia area,
I don't know, like,
goes all the way down to like Kentucky.
I don't know about Bigfoot. I don't know. But I like, when it comes to Bigfoot, it could be like, I think of like all kinds of things. Like, could it be some sort of Homo sapien that didn't quite, like, some kind of distant cousin or some kind of ape? Like, they didn't even believe gorillas were a real thing until the early 1900s. They thought it was a myth. So I think that there's some animals that could, you know, possibly avoid us, you know, and live in the deep forest. I don't know. Well, it's fucking weird. Like, there's so many things, like, people
I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. I'm sorry. He just sparked an idea.
No, I'm just rambling.
No. Flat Earth Sage, I think you mentioned you're in Arizona. And so I'm all the way on the East Coast side of, like, where the Appalachia, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina and stuff is. And he said even the Choctaw story of a Bigfoot killing a bunch of their people, that's a Choctaw tribe. Correct me if I'm wrong, is a Native American tribe in the Arizona southwest area. And so I think there's a little credibility to some of these sightings when you have tribes all the way in Arizona and people all the way over here talking about the same concept. And then in the Yeti, in the mountains, I mean, everybody kind of has their version of a similar thing. So, well, how come did they all like send messages to each other and decide to make this shit up? It doesn't make sense.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. Who is Aziz?
Aziz says hi, Clutch. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. And hello.
I don't know.
Aziz. Well, Aziz probably is just
hello,
new, and our names are on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, hello. Maybe I've talked to them before. I seem to talk to a lot of people and I forget who they are. Like, they're not who they are, but I forget their names.
Super Sorter Jerk says he thinks cryptids are real. What are cryptids?
Yeah, that's what Bigfoot is.
Oh, okay.
Cryptids are like Bigfoot, Mothman, like just animals or kind of, I guess, creatures that are not officially recognized.
Let's try to have an open mind. I mean, there's so many things at the bottom of the ocean we haven't discovered yet. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just means that we haven't figured it out yet and we haven't seen them. So, yeah, I mean, there people around here, like especially in the wooded area, they say the craziest stuff, like don't stare into the woods, you might find something staring back. And I kind of believe it, because at night this area gets a little creepy. I mean, I've started seeing things that I never thought I would ever see, like a 3-foot snake in my basement, if you remember that. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
That,
dude. There's no chance I'm going into the forest around here at night. Like, I wouldn't even go into it unarmed and prepared in the daytime.
yeah,
Like, I'm not even joking. Into the deep woods, like especially towards the reserve and deep into that area.
yeah.
Fuck no.
If you go looking for
No
trouble,
chance.
you don't find it.
And I'm not even talking about Bigfoot or anything weird. Like, I don't know if there's like, it's just, there's bears, there's cougars, there's enough shit out there that would mess you up just regularly.
Sorry.
Yeah, and there are people who live in, like, I watched this video about the Appalachian Trail, and they talk about, like, there was like serial killers who would hunt the trail. There's wild men who live in the woods and just like will fuck people up. They're wild. They're like feral people.
Yeah.
There's cults that live out there. So it's creepy, man. Like, so yeah, who cares about Bigfoot? There's enough real shit that
there's like, people. We have a people problem.
People are scary enough.
Oh
and God. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that missing 411 shit, but that weirds me the fuck out, and I can't quite understand it. I think there's something to it, but I don't know.
Super Soda Jerk brought up an interesting one. I seen his video, but I didn't watch the video. He did a video about a gargoyle. It's called Gargoyle Story from the Insane Asylum. And I'm interested to see that. I will say that I didn't realize that this world had such large flying creatures until I moved out here too. Because Bobby and I have been driving along the road and we saw something spread its wings, and I'm not kidding. That wingspan was so big, like I wasn't even sure it was a bird, but I know I saw feathers.
There's eagles here that have easy 6-foot wingspans, if not more. Yes. And I'm not exaggerating. And I can't remember what the name of the vulture. It might be a turkey vulture, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It fucking was crazy. It like came over my house when I first moved out here, and it like cast a shadow over me. And then when I looked up, it had like a weird long tail. Not a tail, but like its tail feathers were like just the way they flew out and like kind of squared off. I was like, what the fuck is that? It was like kind of creepy. And then there's a lady, my neighbor, that guy I talk about all the time, who's really cool. His wife knows all about birds.
Really?
And she told me what it was, and I looked up, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That type of vulture.
Your children, like, are my children safe? But, like, even a 4-year-old could, get carried off.
That wingspan was huge. It was bigger than 6 feet. It was huge. But yeah, it would take my dog in a second, because I just have a tiny little dog. He'd snatch that shit up, like, but we don't let the dog out. Like, we let him out, but not. Yeah, or if he's like, if we tie him up, it might be like under a big tree where he can't really be seen the same way. We don't just let him run off, because I
wouldn't. When
he's half Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's half Chihuahua and half Jack Russell Terrier. He's like maybe 8 pounds, so he'd be an easy lunch for an eagle or a hawk would even take him. Yeah, like there's no.
When we first got Rousey and Riggins, we were always outside in the yard with them when we let them out. Now they're pushing about 50 pounds, 40 pounds or something. They're getting big, so we're not as worried. But I mean, they look like just a nice juicy chunk of sausage walking around out in the yard. So Yeah, you
Oh
have
yeah,
to be
they'll be good
careful.
guard dogs.
And this
Flat Earth
stuff.
Sage knows about Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say this stuff that flies around out here. They're quick. It can happen fast. Like they'll disappear in a heartbeat. But what were you gonna say?
I think they dive at like some. I think there's hawks and eagles that dive at like 100. I don't know if it's 100 miles or 100 kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
but like insanely fast. Like, when you think of like 100 kilometers an hour, or even 100 miles per hour, dive bombing, like, and then
Yeah.
they snatch up like a rabbit or something. That's fucking
Well,
crazy. Just think about that.
I've
Fucking
read
100,
that
like,
the part of the tactic of them flying down so fast is when they land on the prey, they're breaking the prey's back, and that's
yeah. Well, and their talons just fucking,
yep.
and then they
that's
just and
how
they
kill
eat it alive.
Um,
Well, it's not really dead, but it's like not
it's
moving.
immobile. It can't fight back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
I've seen
Sage
them
said-
drop things too.
Oh, that's right. They'll fly up a few hundred feet and kill
Yeah,
it
and
by
just drop
dropping
it.
on rocks.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah, he knows what missing 411 is. I'm
he said
telling you,
one
that is the
time when I was
creepiest
living
shit.
in the woods, me and my buddy, who were both former Boy Scouts, just set up a tarp and our sleeping bags and just slept completely out in the open woods at night. Oh, that actually sounds nice. I've been missing 411 stories on Mr. Ballin's channel. I've never heard of that. What's this missing 411?
Well, I wouldn't give Mr. Ballin the credit for 411, but I think he's talked about it. He is a good storyteller, but that's
Really?
but anyway, 411, it's a weird phenomenon. Like it's like all these people who go missing in national parks. They all have weird
you've
shit in
mentioned
common.
that before.
Yeah.
You've told me about
Yeah.
it.
And now it's happening in like in like urban settings now too. Some people think in the urban setting it's the smiley face killer. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
The smiley face killer? Where they like it'll be like a big strapping like college guy. He'll get drunk in a bar, he'll walk out, and then he'll disappear. And then he's not seen for like say 8 months. And then they find him in the water, but he hasn't been in the water for 8 months. He's been in the water for 24 hours. That's the smiley face killers. Very weird.
Like
So obviously,
kept him alive for a long time and then killed him a long while later.
Yes. Yeah, it's
See
real
what I mean?
creepy. But
People are scarier than Bigfoots. That's all I'm
fuck
saying.
yeah.
Missing
Yes,
411 with
you know that
David
movie?
Paulides.
Paulides, yeah. He's an ex-cop.
Oh.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it's all true, but these people are really missing, so
yeah.
that's true.
It's
like,
interesting.
no doubt about that.
It reminds me of the detective stories with is it Joe Kenda? What's that guy's name?
I don't know that name.
Oh, it's pretty good, but you got to have a stomach for it. But I mean, he retells a lot of his detective cases and the murders and serial killers, and even shares stories when he was learning from other detectives. But yeah, we were just watching that at work, I think 2 nights ago, and I was just like enthralled. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, which is hard because I kept having to break away and do work. But I mean, I was just it's good storytelling. That's like you said.
Did you like my little bit of detective work with your Who Was Lying case? Hey, did it make
you had a very good point, and I kind of mentioned that to a coworker, like, no, nobody in the chat's gonna get. Long story short, in the chat, like, when I first started working there was this little coffee maker. It was very tiny. The person that was training me said she didn't want to take it with her when she quit, so I could have it, and then a few months later, another lady took it when she moved to another office and said it was hers. So I didn't know who really owned it, but Clutch did a little rationalizing and brought up a few good points. And in the end, if I really need to use that thing, I will just walk over to her office. I texted her nicely and said, would you mind if I used it? Because I have these little coffee pods and I don't use them anywhere else. And she was kind enough to say, yes, you can use it anytime. Problem solved.
Because she stole it. But whatever.
Because I think she stole it, but I didn't care. I could just walk over down to her office. She's never in there when I work anyway, so whatever. Good job. Thank you, Sherlock. Oh, Super Soda Jerk said he was abducted by a chubby girl once. What? She obviously didn't devour you, so we're gonna need a video that explains this story. Because that
didn't devour you. Oh, fuck. I bugged my youngest son. Like, I don't know how this started, but like, I don't even remember, but I bug him about liking fat girls. Like, really fat girls.
Oh my God, why?
I don't know. And I don't know how it started. And I can't remember, but I'm like, oh, they'll keep you warm in the winter and you won't need any firewood and like shit like that. I don't even know how it started.
I'll tell you what.
I can't remember, but
I always joke with Bobby, like when we're eating and I made dinner or I make a dessert and I make something damn good, I always tell him, like, well, babe, you could have married a woman that likes her keto diet and you could be eating vegetarian right now. And he's like, nope, I love the woman I married. Oh, yeah, that's one of those things. Like, you could be eating something.
I got to go healthy on that keto diet. I got to lose like 25 pounds. Yeah, I got to lose some weight.
Why?
I'm at 201 pounds.
And that
I should probably be like 170, 180.
How tall are you?
I just 5'11".
No, I thought you were like 6 feet.
No, like 5'11".
And you are always outside doing things. I mean, in the garden and stuff. I mean, you're burning a lot of that off. You also have to remember, if you have muscle weighs more than, this is all coming from a chubby girl too. Muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're building the muscle,
I got high
to weigh a little more.
Well, my blood pressure is high, and the only thing I noticed that I changed was I haven't smoked weed in 7 months. I read that smoking weed can lower your blood pressure and stopping it can raise your blood pressure. It's the only thing that I've changed. And since I've changed it, my blood pressure used to be like 120/80. Now it's high. Right. And that's the only difference. And then I started reading about what to do about that. And it said to lose weight. And then I went to the doctors and they weighed me and I was like, holy fuck, this is the heaviest I've ever weighed in my life.
Really?
And then cutting out salt and that kind of stuff. Salt, eating a more fibrous diet. So, yeah.
Huh. Everybody's agreeing that 5'11" is the perfect height. I'm 5'6".
Clutch,
so
are you
whatever.
For WWE 200 pounds?
200 pounds. You do love your wrestling, right?
Okay, I'm not even going to lie about it. I like wrestling. You can make fun of me. You can call me gay. I don't even care. I like wrestling, and I would do a podcast with anybody who wanted to about wrestling. It's fucking awesome. I've been watching it for... People call it gay all the time. I don't care. But, when you go to a movie, all wrestling is to me is a live action movie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
When you're watching an action movie, do you oh, that's not real? Well, fuck no, it's not real. It's predetermined. But those guys
You
get
don't go
hurt.
to a movie
That's
and
fucking.
shout like, "This isn't real." Let's see.
What-
Now everybody, Fiber Oat says that's it.
When I
I'm getting
went-
back on the weed. Wrestling. Super
One
Soaker
funny
Jerk
thing,
511.
wrestling story. When I went, the last time me and my kids went to actual, like, it was like a televised event. So, like, it's called Raw. So it's on TV. It's live, right? It's on Monday nights. So
Right.
it was in our city, or the closest city to us. And we went. And when we got there, it's like we had the best parking spot. Everything was working out. We get to it. We're there early. And then they're like, your tickets are no good. We're like, what? And they're like, yeah, you got to go talk to these guys. Yeah. And I was like, what? I knew they're legit tickets. So it ended up that our tickets where I bought them was blocked off because of the way they do their camera work or something. So they upgraded us and they put us literally like right beside, it's called the hard cam. So it's like the camera that faces the ring. We're like, I was
No
literally
way.
sitting to shoulder with the cameraman. Like I'm touching him. And
That's awesome.
like the wrestlers, like they can see you, right? So this one wrestler's name's Randy Orton, and he was a bad guy at the time, and he was like, he broke some guy's neck, like fake broke his neck, right? So
Yeah.
I'm with my kids and we're yelling all kinds of crazy shit. And I yell out, "Fuck you, Randy!" And as soon as I yell that, he like stops and he like looks, and my son remembers this to this day. He like looked right at me where I was sitting, and he like looked like he wanted to kill me. And my son thinks it's the funniest shit that ever happened. It was awesome. It was an awesome night. I had fun.
And you were probably
Wrestling
heard
school.
on
I don't care what
camera,
you
weren't
say.
you?
I might have been, but they probably would like
Edit it
they
out.
probably edit it out. Like they were like airs on TV.
But that look on his face is
But
on
it was
TV.
awesome.
He was probably like,
Fuck yeah, it was. It was awesome. It was a good time.
Raw.
It was a good time.
Love Raw, Triple H, CM Punk were my favorite. That's Tourette. Wow. Super Soda Jerk is having too much fun. That's amazing, said Aziz. Randy Orton, best heel. Wow, Tourette is obviously right there with you on the whole wrestling thing.
Awesome. That was a good time.
All right. Well, it's almost dinner time for me.
Well,
so Mama's got to go cook some food and then enjoy my day off. Let's see.
All right. Well, it was fun. Thanks, everybody, for coming and listening to my weird voice and my gay wrestling stories.
I'm the same way. When I hear myself on the live streams playback and stuff, I'm just like, is that what I sound like? It just, I don't know. It sounds weird.
Dude, I hate it so. I hate it so much. It's so cringe to me. Like, I really want to go back and listen to that episode to figure out why we got that climate change badge or whatever. But but I can't stand my voice. I can't stand it.
I'll just end it with this. There was one time when I was trying to find something we said before, and I played our live stream on like 3 different tabs, and then I played it in like fast forward, so we sounded like chipmunks, and then on 3 tabs that was like 6 chipmunks, and it was hilarious. It was you and me, and we were both like, I was like, this is awesome.
That's even worse. I didn't see Godzilla there, by the way. Hi, buddy. Hey, Godzilla. But that's the official Canadian greeting, by the way. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
All right.
Hey, guy.
Well, everybody's saying goodbye to each other, so we'll let them go, and then I'll go make something to eat, and then we'll definitely try to do this again next week. Sorry we skipped last week, guys.
Yeah, we can do it. If you have the same time off, Tuesday really is a good day for me.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So guys, try to look for us on Tuesday.
Hey, guy. Yeah, we're good. Awesome.
All right, brother. I'll
Okay,
talk to you
later.
next week. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.